All right, this comes from chapter 10. We're going to talk about negative externalities. Now, when we think about an example of negative externalities, imagine yourself sitting down to study when all of a sudden, from your roommate's room, you hear this. Yeah, try focusing when hearing this song. You just want to sing along, or it drives you crazy, one or the other. And so this is what we think about negative externality. It's just hard to focus. It's hard to study. You can't do much while this song is playing very loudly. And so let's look to see how that applies here. So let's look at your roommate's point of view. So your roommate is making the decision, how much My Little Pony should I listen to? And how much do I want to listen to? So we would think of this as your roommate's making a decision, or she is making a decision based off of benefits that are private, meaning the benefits that listening to this song provides them. They're also listening to some cost that is private to them, and that's our supply curve. So they're making a decision based on the cost to themselves and the benefit to themselves, and so they'll listen to My Little Pony at the amount of Q star. But the problem is, as they listen to My Little Pony, as they listen to it loudly, it imposes a cost upon you or upon other people around them. So not only is there this cost here to the individual, but it's going to shift up to the amount of the external cost, which we call the externality. And so the true supply curve is not just the cost to the individual, but the cost to the individual plus the external cost. So we call this the cost, or the social cost. And what this tells us is the amount of My Little Pony that your roommates listen to is too much. That's the private optimal amount, but the socially optimal amount is this Q social. And so the problem with negative externalities is too much is being produced. And in fact, some might say that the cost of My Little Pony is just so much, because once you hear that song once, it gets stuck in your head forever. And so the actual socially optimal amount of My Little Pony might be way over here, so you might not ever want to listen to that song. And that's an example of a negative externality where it's not just the private cost, the private supply curve, but we have a social cost, meaning that the private market equilibrium is producing too much of what's good for society.
My little pony, my little pony, what is friendship all about? My little pony, friendship is legendary. I used to wonder what friendship could be. My little pony, until you all shared its magic with me. When I was young, I was too busy to make any friends. Such silliness did not seem worth the effort it expends. But the little ponies, you opened up my eyes. And now the truth is crystal clear and splendid summer skies. And it's such a wonderful surprise. Little pony, I used to wonder what friendship could be. My little pony, until you all shared its magic with me. When danger makes me wanna hide, your rainbow dash to my side. Kindness is never been shown supply. Once bitten, twice Fluttershy. Honesty, no pony can deny. You are the apple gem of my eye. A heart that shines so beautiful, a rarity to come by. And you all make fun and laughter as easy as being mine. My little pony, I used to wonder what friendship could be.
My Little Pony.
Until you all shared its magic with me. Our friendship's magic, and it's growing all the time. A new adventure waits for us each day is yours and mine. We'll make it special every time. We'll make it special every
My
time.
Little Pony.
What a wonderful wonder friendship
My
means.
Little Pony.
You know you're all my very best friends. You're my very best friends. You're my very best friends. You're my very best friends.
You're welcome.